Welcome to Wild Ohio Podcast. Today, we're here at the Cincinnati Museum Center. Okay, and we're here with our guest, Shana Byrd. And Shana, you are the Ohio lead for the Nature Conservancy, right? Am I saying that right?
That's right. My role is to lead the Ohio statewide conservation initiatives for the Nature Conservancy.
Now,
wow, that's not a small job.
It doesn't sound like one.
No.
You're going to have to give me a little feedback on how you got to that position and what your background is.
Well, great. Yeah, I'd be happy to. I have the good fortune to lead a team of 55 committed, passionate individuals working in a variety of different focus areas, from land protection to freshwater restoration, and also in sustainable agriculture and forestry as well. And so I came to this role about a year ago, and my path sort of began early on, right? Early experiences in nature with my mother, who was a chemist and a scientist, and my grandmother as well. She was a botanist, an amateur botanist, and she would take me out into nature as a child and teach me the plants, and that's what sparked my interest as a young person. And from there, I knew I wanted to dedicate my life to conservation, so that's what I studied. And
are you from Ohio?
Today. Yeah, I'm originally from Ohio, from the Dayton area.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. So not too far from here.
Yeah,
Did you grow up
exactly.
coming to this location?
So actually, yeah, Dayton, Cincinnati area, all Western Ohio.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time there. Actually spent a lot of time in Southern Ohio and Eastern Ohio as well. Now I'm in Central Ohio.
That's awesome. I have been here one time, a really long time ago, and I have no memory of what it looked like in here until I walked back in here today, and it's really stunning.
It's impressive.
And we're here for a premiere.
Yeah, for the movie premiere.
For a movie premiere about Ohio and the natural resources and the importance of the outdoors. Something near and dear to you.
Absolutely.
Yes. What are some childhood memories that you have being outdoors in Ohio?
I love that you asked this question. Really, as I was saying, it started just those early experiences on those nature hikes. My mother would challenge me to see if I could identify, a new plant we hadn't seen yet, or an insect. And, of course, I love that challenge. And
high bar? Was there a high bar for that?
It just sort of came naturally in that it was just an early spark of curiosity, and just really wanting to be able to read the world around me, and seeing green plants and wanting to know what they were. And so, as I said, that was how I started off my studies. I went to Ohio University and studied botany and environmental and plant biology there, and actually later in my career was at Miami University, so not far from where we're recording right now.
Yeah, right down the road, right?
Yeah.
John, you talk about that quite often with your kids, the tree identification, walking through the woods, the fun of that.
High bar. High bar, yeah.
High bar set there.
I love to take them in the woods. I mean, from a hunting standpoint, too, it's great for them to be able to go outside and know, hey, this is an oak tree, this is why we're in this area, stuff like that. I love to take them out there so they have a full understanding of the ecosystem and why and what is going on.
So I'm not originally from Ohio, but one of the things that drew me to Ohio was when I visited Southeast Ohio, and I saw pawpaw trees, and I'm like, we have banana trees in the state of Ohio, and ferns.
Almost.
And I grew up as a child going to my grandparents in Kentucky. And it was like, wow, this tropical place coming from the state up north where, there's no sun and dark and gray and all the horrible things that happen up there. So, but one of the things that you're really passionate about, and it shows through not only the lineage of grandma to mom to what you're doing now, but you are over this huge conservation effort. Native species of plants is something that is very near and dear to what you all help preserve. Can you talk a little bit about the Nature Conservancy and all the great work that you all do to preserve some of these unique species? I'm guessing some that are probably maybe only found on some of your locations.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because the Nature Conservancy really, well, for those who may not know, we are actually a global organization. So, of course, we have conservation initiatives throughout Ohio, ranging from our coastal areas up on Lake Erie, down on the river, the Appalachian region, Southern Ohio, the area you mentioned.
Yeah.
And within that, our goal within Ohio has been historically to make sure that we are conserving and protecting Ohio's most exceptional landscapes, right? And preserving those unique preserves that have habitat for especially threatened, rare, endangered species, then whether they be plants, animals, insects, and essentially those sanctuaries. That has been historically land preservation is what many people have known the Nature Conservancy as historically our focus. However, we actually have a broader area of work, and what we're really trying to do on that global scale is to focus on a single vision where people and nature thrive together. And we do that by addressing the dual crisis that we're facing of climate change and biodiversity loss. And to your point, it just makes it that much more important that we are preserving the special, unique habitats where some of those rare species live. And so, and as I mentioned earlier, we're doing that through land protection, freshwater restoration, sustainable practices in agriculture, forestry. Those are the main ways in which we're seeing that work accomplished on the ground. And we're not doing it alone. We do that through partnerships.
Oh, yeah.
We really rely heavily on the network of other conservation focused organizations and local officials and governments that are working towards those same goals.
It certainly takes a team.
Oh,
that's for sure. So.
I, when I was reading up on all of this, learned that this museum actually partners with the Nature Conservancy for Edge of Appalachia.
That's right.
How did that come about? Do you know how that partnership came about?
Absolutely. It's fascinating, the history, as a matter of fact, because, and it really kind of ties back to the earlier discussion we were having about that initial spark and curiosity. So the Nature Conservancy's history in Ohio, it connects back to a pioneering botanist and ecologist by the name of Dr. Lucy Brown. And Lucy Brown was actually a native of Cincinnati, right here, and she attended the University of Cincinnati. She was in every way a pioneer, a conservation hero and a champion, and she actually documented the flora in the area that is now today the Edge of Appalachia. And she became so fascinated with the biodiversity of the region, the uniqueness of the plants, the animals. She really recognized how special it was and how important it was to conserve. And so thanks to her efforts, she rallied her friends and others to be just as passionate about the conservation of that landscape, and encouraged through establishment of the Ecologists Union, which then later became the Nature Conservancy. And shortly thereafter, the 43-acre parcel that was known as the Lynx Prairie, a remnant prairie full of a diversity of rare species, was then the first property acquired by the Ohio Nature Conservancy in 1959. And now today is a 23,000-acre refugia in southern Ohio, and serving to really protect those large landscapes that so many species depend on.
So the Edge of Appalachia was featured in this film that we're going to see this evening. Is that an area that is open to the public? So if everyone watching this goes, I want to go there, can they go there?
Yes, absolutely, and I hope they do. There are many different ways to experience the Edge of Appalachia. If you're a hiker, I would recommend checking out one of the most popular trails called Buzzard Roost Rock. It's an amazing...
It's a unique name. Yeah. It's a real unique name.
And when you actually make it to the end of the trail, you're at this overlook and you're looking at the rolling hills, and if it's a foggy day, it's settling down in the valleys, and you've got the color of the trees. This time of year is really, just starting to see that fall color. It's really exceptional. It's one of the most breathtaking places. You'll see that in the film when you watch the film, and I imagine anyone watching the film is going to be inspired to see Ohio's special places that are featured.
Oh, for sure. So how many acres of land does the Conservancy deal with?
Wow. So that's a great question, because the Nature Conservancy has owned and has protected 65,000 acres in Ohio. And again, many of that is through partnerships. And for example, we've had close partnership with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources over the years. And and really, I mean that we truly cannot aspire to accomplish what we do if we did not have partners who are working towards those same goals. And so, for example, just recently on Friday, as a matter of fact, we celebrated the establishment of the 150th ODNR State Nature Preserve. It is Baker Swamp. It was a transfer from land that had been placed in protection through the Nature Conservancy and was then transferred to ODNR for long-term stewardship and care. So
very nice.
Great example of our partnership.
Absolutely.
I feel like I should know where that is, but
where's that?
Baker Swamp?
It's in Jackson County, so southern Ohio, some of that really unique intact habitat that we were talking about, how important it is, those corridors of connectivity for wildlife movement and plant migration, animal migration. But it's actually a wetland complex within. So it is 181 acres. So it's a really substantial preservation. And we're really excited about being able to partner with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources on it.
Shana, as the lead for the, Ohio, for the Nature Conservancy, talking about all these partnerships and the properties, I feel like your job's pretty busy. Like, can you break down for the listeners what it is that you're doing on a regular basis with all that work?
Yeah. So I want to tie it back to the team that I referenced in the beginning, which is the most talented, passionate individuals you will meet who are really driving conservation forward. And again, they are also not doing that alone. One of the strengths, I think, of the Nature Conservancy is we recognize the value and the necessity of working together in order to reach our conservation goals.
I would agree with that.
So, in essence, what I do, and I see my role is in support of those really capable folks who are out there dedicating their work to conservation, and also to reach out to our partners and understand what their goals are, so that we can align and find those goals that are of mutual interest. And at the end of the day, the mission of the Nature Conservancy is to protect the land and waters on which all life depends. So yes, I'd say we have a pretty big goal there.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that sustainable agriculture is one of the priorities of the Nature Conservancy. So have your organization been part of H2 Ohio?
Absolutely. Talk about a signature program that has really been instrumental in providing conservation at scale for Ohio. And so whether it was through the Ohio Department of Agriculture and the innovative programs that are being placed on the ground in partnership with farmers to really help them improve their practices to slow the flow of erosion and keep the nutrients on the farm fields where they belong. And it's done through innovative processes like building edge of field wetlands to capture those nutrients and prevent sediment from entering the waterways. That's one example. We've also, of course, partnered with other aspects of the program, much of which has been through natural infrastructure, so nature-based solutions like creation of wetlands, but also restoration of streams and rivers and protecting riparian corridors. I'm really excited to share about our large freshwater estuary restoration program on Sandusky Bay. And in fact, it's so significant because we believe it actually may be the largest freshwater estuary restoration potentially in the world. So protecting Lake Erie from those sediments and nutrients entering the waterway by creating barrier reefs, barrier islands rather, and wetlands to slow that flow, absorb the nutrients, and prevent the water from degrading. And we know how important that is for freshwater and drinking water for
absolutely. And I've been up and
people.
seen some of that project, and it's a pretty substantial undertaking, but it's also, there's some really amazing footage from that region in this film. There's some fantastic drone footage of some tundra swans that are immediately benefiting from that. And even to come full circle, as we continue this premier sweep we're going to be talking about nutrient reduction and water quality in Toledo later this week, because we're going to be talking about hellbenders and all the there's so many species that folks don't think that might not be easily identified or something that you can just grasp and see, like a deer coming across. There's so much more that benefits from all of these programs that we're all doing and we're all moving forward. And it's truly inspirational. I think with that mindset of inspiration, what would your advice be to a young listener that is looking to get into the world of conservation, and maybe some starting points, pique that interest?
Well, based on my own experience and really how doors started to open in my own career, I really owe a lot of credit to the people who came before me, who recognized how important it is to engage young people in conservation. And I'm very deeply passionate about that myself, and it's something I've dedicated parts of my career to developing mentorship programs. So I would say to a young person who's interested in entering conservation to obviously, if it's possible, to pursue a career path in any variety of the fields of conservation, biology, ecology, because ultimately from there, where you're going to gain most of the experience is actually through work and
Boots
through
on the ground, right?
Through the various positions you do.
Absolutely.
I would encourage people to volunteer.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't assume that you're just going to have that position that's going to be your ultimate career, because actually gaining that experience through a variety of volunteer opportunities also helps you meet individuals who are in that line of work. And those are the individuals who want to help you. They want to see that next generation of conservationists evolve, and they want to be a part of your success. And so I would advise them to reach out, to actually introduce yourself, create a network, and start to get to know other people who are in that field doing the types of work that you're interested in doing, and pursue opportunities to work alongside them whenever those are presented.
I love it.
And that gives me a chance to say that volunteer opportunities are also possible through the Nature Conservancy.
There we go.
Tell us about it. Like, how can someone volunteer for the Nature Conservancy?
Yeah, so we do have a variety of different opportunities. We typically offer them at least once a month, and so folks can contact us through the website, and then we will be able to provide insight on different options, and depending on what your interests are, or, maybe you're just an individual and you're interested, maybe you only have so much time, a limited time, but if you're also a group and you want to get a group of friends together, an organized group, there's opportunities for volunteering with us on those projects as well.
What kind of projects? Like maybe invasive control or actual building things? Like what would they be doing?
Yeah, so there's always the invasive control projects, right?
I feel like I did some of that in college.
It's never ending.
There's always honeysuckle,
but it's
and
not the
autumn.
only thing, right?
And it is floor rows.
Exactly. We've all done those, and that can actually be really rewarding as well, because you can see the impact of your work immediately, right? You can see the improvement and the difference you're making. We do have those opportunities, but another opportunity, and we're coming up on fall, so there may be, even some immediate opportunities for this. We're putting some plans together now for seed collection. And so you mentioned earlier about how important native plants are, and they are, at the end of the day, what we're trying to protect are entire ecosystems, and the watersheds that are a part of them, and so. But within that, native species need help, right? They need help to proliferate because of the fact that some of our ecosystems have been degraded to the point where collecting that native seed makes it possible for restoration, to restore plant communities that have been degraded through invasive species. So once those invasive species are removed, it gives us an opportunity to seed back the species we want.
So going out and picking the seeds.
Exactly.
That's
so
awesome.
we're in
addressing the fragmentation that way as well, spreading out that it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense, does it not?
The butterfly butterfly weed pod time of year where they're busting. Yes.
Milkweed.
Milkweed. That's what I'm looking for.
Yep, that's just one of the species that we would be excited to collect. There are a number of a number of native plants that are really easy to collect, easy to clean and store, and then can be made available in our future restoration. And also, we've actually been in discussions about donation of seed if we can collect large quantities to make those available to ODNR through the brand new Buckeye Nursery.
Nice. Oh, very
yes.
nice. You know what? I'm going to spoil and steal a little bit of thunder, but I think everyone is leaving here today with an acorn of some type.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Great.
nice little segue into that. As a hunter, an adamant hunter,
He did
I
spoil
love
that.
milkweed collection because of two reasons. I like to put milkweed on my property. The other part is that the white tufts of the seed pod make a phenomenal wind indicator. And I get bored pretty easily. So
Pretty
as
easy.
I'm sitting up in the stand and I can
easy.
just drop milkweed out and see which way the wind's
love
going.
it. You're
I'm
seeding
simple at
while you're
heart.
hunting.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great.
Exactly. So
Checking
dual
out
purpose
future
there.
turkey, future turkey spots.
If it has anything to do with turkey, you've got
Yeah.
me. Yeah, that's
Yep.
all in, all in. So
Well, I'm going to call Jordan out from several
I'm excited.
podcasts ago.
of course, where's this going?
Remember when Jordan went on a kick about your Spark, all the things?
Yeah, he started
like
making
your
it up
Spark
for everything.
kitchen
yeah.
appliance
Yeah.
and stuff like
I
that.
actually had one in the back pocket, and you're
So-
stealing it from me.
Parts of
Well-
kitchen
Let's hear it.
appliance.
Shanna talks about the Spark that got her going and its plants particularly. Is there one in particular that was your Spark
Yeah,
plants?
great question.
That is a great question. So, as a botanist and someone who loves plants, you might think it would be impossible for me to say what my favorite plant is, but in fact, the passion flower is my favorite plant.
Okay.
No idea what that
I
is.
don't know what that is.
No, could you describe it to us?
Its fun Latin name is Passiflora incarnata, so
that
it
is
even
good
has
Latin
a pretty name.
Yeah.
It is a spectacular flower. Is actually a vine,
Okay.
and it is native to Ohio, to the southern reaches. In fact, the area near the edge of Appalachia and along the river bluffs is where it would be natively grown, and it is also grown now where it can be added to your home landscape and really be a gorgeous feature. It is the most delicate petaled flower that has purple and white speckles and a really prominent ovary that sort of stands up. It almost looks otherworldly. It's absolutely
Interesting.
beautiful.
And we
almost
can
like
find that
hibiscus,
in the
right?
edge of Appalachia.
Well, it is a rare plant, so I
You
should
have to
say a
look
rare to
hard.
find plant.
Yes.
It's just not scattered throughout Ohio. It's only known to a few locations as its
Gotcha.
native habitat, but it can be found in native plant nurseries. It is gaining a lot of popularity. So if you have a trellis or gazebo, you could let it sort of vine up. It does tend to kind of have a little bit of a mind of its own. So if you can put it somewhere where it can
Just
frolic
let it
and
be
climb,
and let
and
it do its
be
thing.
beautiful, then
That is what vines do.
That is.
They do that. They get carried away.
Do you
So
have?
Abby, how about you?
I like May apples
May apples?
in
Okay.
the spring. I
Yeah.
like the
Dogwood
little,
or May apple? The May apple?
The May apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the little umbrella look is kind of fun in the spring,
Okay.
especially after a long winter. Everything's brown. It's one of the more early-ish wildflowers to pop up.
yes, definitely a harbinger of spring.
Oh, you guys are all looking at me, so I
Yeah.
have to come up with one too.
You do.
I don't know. Jordan said pawpaws, which I learned about with my grandpa walking through the squirrel woods in early September. And I actually just gave Jordan some pawpaw pulp the other day.
Yeah.
So I still harvest pawpaws with my kids, and they love it. We go shake trees. They have a good time with that. So I would say pawpaws would probably be one of my favorite, because I tell people all the time, every year when I harvest pawpaws, people are, what is this? I didn't know Ohio had a tropical fruit.
Yeah.
So I
Do
like
you go
it.
to the
too.
festival? Have you been?
I have never been to the festival. Is that in
It's down outside of
Southeast
Athens.
Ohio.
South
Yeah.
Athens.
Snowden.
Yeah, Lake Snowden. That's
Yep.
correct. No,
Yep.
I've never been.
Me
I probably
neither.
need to go.
You should.
It's very fun.
Is
And,
it?
and so I guess we have this all in common. So my grandmother was in Kentucky, in
Okay.
Kentucky as
Yeah.
well, and had pawpaws on her property. And it was one of the species that she would show me. And it does have that sort of elegant, beautiful, tropical feel to it.
Oh, big
Yeah.
leaves.
As
Yeah.
far as favorites go, definitely my favorite native fruit.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
eat.
Oh,
How about
hands
that?
down.
Yeah.
And
That narrows it
it's got
down.
the
Easy one.
purple flower, and it just keeps getting cooler and cooler. There's a specific beetle that is pollinating them in the spring. It's like, what a great tree. You crumple up the leaves and it smells like green pepper. I can go on and on.
Oh, I
about-
didn't know
I
that
didn't
about
know
the
that
leaves.
either.
That is a identification trait that
He's
you can
making it
use,
up.
and it smells like
I
fresh
don't know.
green
He
pepper.
might be
True.
making
It's
it
true
up.
story.
Oh, it's true? That's true? Okay. I'll do that
So
when
I
I
guess
get
it's
home.
my turn, right?
Yeah.
Since we've obviously taken Pawpaw off the list, I think I'm gonna go with Columbine. The first time that I saw
Oh.
Columbine,
I don't even know what that is. You guys
Really?
are knocking these. Is that a flower as well?
It
It
is.
is, and it's a very unique,
Summer?
very unique flower.
Right?
Okay.
And I'm really hoping right now that this is a native species to the state of Ohio. Okay, started to
Dodged
sweat
a
here for
bullet.
a
Be
second.
like, you're
I,
kicked out, Jordan.
I felt as though I had found Columbine, but I started to think maybe that was North Carolina on the trail.
Yeah.
So, a very unique flower to it. It's almost got like a four prong approach, and it hangs upside down. Beautiful plant, absolutely beautiful plant. So I've been unsuccessful trying to spread some Columbine seed on some areas, and I'm sure I'm doing it. Trust me, it's
They
me.
take a while.
Does it?
You just
Okay.
have to have
Hey,
patience.
you know,
They'll
so
come.
much
He
of this.
doesn't have
So
patience.
much of this is you have to
That'll
have patience
be
with it. But
so true.
The risk is always worth the reward, I've found, in
Yeah.
planting anything. So, yeah.
For sure.
So, we've got some notes here and talking about the movie, encouraging Ohioans to get outside. We've talked a little bit about how folks can go to Nature Conservancy ground and get outside. What would you pitch to the folks? Why? What's the benefit of getting outside, seeing Ohio's natural landscapes?
Well, I'll tell you, anyone who watches this movie is going to be inspired to get out and discover Ohio's wild
Yep.
places. It is actually, and I like to think of it. I thought, the film itself is actually just has beautiful cinematography. You get to see Ohio through a different lens.
Yeah.
You can really appreciate. Sometimes I think we assume that in order to see breathtaking landscapes and beautiful wildlife, we might have to go somewhere else to see it. When the truth is, it's really right in our own backyard. It's just a matter of taking the time to get out and discover new places. And I think the film does a really great job of showing just how diverse our habitats are in
Oh, yeah.
Ohio.
Absolutely.
Those breathtaking views that you said, the drone footage that shows Marblehead, and you can see the coastal marshes of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
You can see, that large contiguous intact forest of the edge of Appalachia in southern Ohio. You really got to get an appreciation for just how much Ohio has to offer. And for many of us, we become really familiar with the places we were raised. I mentioned I'm from the Dayton area in western Ohio, but I've also spent a couple of decades in southern Ohio and came to love those rugged hills and
Yeah,
the unique
yeah.
plants and
The hollers.
the hollers and the sandstone cliffs and
Yeah,
the beautiful
absolutely.
beautiful caves there, and also now coming to see eastern Ohio, which has its own history and is sort of an interesting transformed landscape, but also has so much hope. I think you get a sense of just what the possibilities are, and I know as I got to sort of sneak peek
Yes.
and see what the film had to offer, I think viewers will come away inspired. And the takeaway for me, the message is that taking care of nature, or even just getting out in time, enjoying it, appreciating beauty, is nice, but you start to understand the connectivity. You see how
Yeah.
we're connected to nature. It's not just something that's there for us to enjoy and recreate and appreciate, but we actually are a part of nature and we need it. It's where our fresh air comes from, and our clean water, and our healthy soil,
And our own mental health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about your own wellness. Taking care of nature is really about taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely. And conservation for tomorrow, So
Absolutely.
we've got a small little bit of time on this thing, and anything we can do to preserve, reestablish, and continue to create advocacy for what everyone on this panel is very passionate about, that's a win-win all day long. So
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes it starts with those early experiences, getting out and, fishing and hiking and bird watching or even photography. You never know what your spark is.
Right.
It could be.
It just happens.
It could be just that road trip where you think, maybe it's getting your kids out, or maybe you didn't, grow up in a family that spent time in nature, but it's never too late to get out there and explore and discover new places. And I think the film really does a great job of showing just what Ohio has to offer in the way of, adventures in nature.
Yeah, it does a good job of showing not only locations where you can see some of these breathtaking views or, geological things that have occurred up on Kelly's Island with the glacial grooves and things like that, but it also talks about where you can go birding. It talks about the biggest week.
Oh, yeah.
And breaks down the warbler migration, which is an amazing thing.
All the way down to the Ohio River.
This is in Ohio, and not just southern Ohio. I kept, I'm thinking, I want to be southeast kind of region, central, because it was different from where I grew up. But then I'm on Lake Erie looking at warblers like I had no idea that this was in a tree right here with me. So there's a lot of uniqueness to the state, and that's one of the things I absolutely love about it. And I think the film does a really good job of highlighting some of those differences, but also showing you where you can go to recreate to capitalize on those differences and get that different culture or touch.
Yeah.
And seeing things that maybe you can only see in those certain special places. I'm thinking about the synchronous fireflies that you see in the film that are found near the edge of Appalachia and Adams County. And just seeing that natural phenomenon is awe-inspiring. It's something that really helps you understand that that's only possible because we've protected those places. It's only possible because they rely on intact, healthy habitat.
Yep.
And so, to your point, it really does underscore just not just that these places are beautiful, but that it's our responsibility to do our part to protect them and do what we can to ensure they're there for future generations.
And that they're worth protecting.
Have either of you seen the synchronization?
Oh, yeah.
Of that?
I have not.
It's awesome.
It's a sight.
I'm behind the 8 ball on lots of things.
It's a sight to see. I was able to witness it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it occurs more in southern states. That species of firefly is more known for that. I actually happened to be in Johnstown, which is smack dab in the middle of the state, and was up on a hill and looking down into kind of like a little meadow area. And there was 3 different synchronizations at 3 different height levels. And I mean, it almost looks like a billboard sign, John. It's like the bottom 20 feet, single pulse, everything at the exact same time. And then the next layer hit with a single pulse. And I mean, it's something to see.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I bet a lot of the listeners know about fireflies, or maybe call them lightning bugs, depending on where you're from. But they may not know that those populations are actually facing decline as well.
Yep.
And it has to do with the fragmentation that we were talking about.
Does it?
The fact that they have really specific habitat needs. And so there's a lot that every individual, maybe you are a homeowner and you can manage your landscape in a way that helps to promote those unique species that actually rely on having certain habitat conditions. And that's sort of that, what can I do? What can each individual do? It starts in your own backyard. It starts with planting those beautiful native plants. Maybe you have a favorite, maybe you're going to find a favorite. And it really just goes to show that yes, we're talking about large landscape scale conservation, and that is absolutely essential. And we need partnership, and we need policy, and we need collaboration to support that. But we also need individuals to care, and we need individuals to become passionate and to do their part and to start right where they live and to inspire others and to show that actually this is something this is our unique treasure. This is what we cherish in Ohio, what makes us special, right? So I like that it gives us a chance to be a part of the solution.
Absolutely.
Well,
and this piggybacks right off of the Jim Redding conversation that we just had earlier. On the last podcast, we talked with Jim about backyards for wildlife and things that we can do on a small scale. Doesn't matter, a quarter of an acre, doesn't even need to be that. A 4x8 sheet of pollinator is creating that ecosystem and helping those species. But I mean, you're just echoing everything we just discussed with Jen, which is do something instead of doing nothing. So
we need that message of hope in these times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I live in a neighborhood in Columbus. I don't have the landmass that Jordan does. And so I've been working on flipping like what was there and trying to make it more native. And I'm seeing, this is the first time in the 4 years we've lived there that I've started seeing butterflies come and caterpillars, and it's just really nice to see like, oh, it's working, like what I'm doing is working.
It does. If you build it, they will come.
Yes,
and you know what is really neat about the situation you described, people often think, oh, I need a large area in order to make that impact.
No.
But in fact, if you think about it, in cities or in developed areas, they're sort of food deserts for flyways of migration, whether they be butterflies or birds. And so even if what you have to offer is small, it can become
It might be
really
that little
important.
respite for the butterfly
Exactly.
on its way to Mexico.
You've got it.
Yep.
And that piggybacks off of something that Shana said about the early experiences. So if we do these small projects, you're going to create that little bit of habitat. And when he grows up, he's going to experience that in his backyard.
Yes,
My kids,
my goals.
we go pick pawpaws. We play in the creek. I don't know where I hope that they have an interest in something of that, whether it's hunting, fishing, bird watching. I don't care, but I hope that they grow up caring about that conservation.
Yeah.
And, they can take that with them the rest of their life, wherever they end up. But
Yep.
hopefully Ohio is where they remember home is. So
I think that speaks to the core
where
of
Dad
the
is.
film and why we're here for the film premiere.
Yeah.
Because we're at a beautiful location. We're at a museum. But this is going to be something that is going to be, the intent is that this will be available for school-aged youth to be able to see what's in their amazing state. And this could be that spark. As you said, maybe this will be watched by someone that hasn't had the opportunity to get out there. But my hope is that we can have people that don't have that opportunity watch this and have a little bit more appreciation as they're headed to the baseball field, the basketball court, and they're passing that little ephemeral pool on the way, and they hear those frogs. They see that salamander. Because that can occur right in the middle of Columbus. We know that it does. So
If it's my kid, I hope they go for the salamander, not the ball game.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a parent too, and again, I feel like it's not just my honor, but it's my responsibility to make sure that my daughter has those early experiences. And they're their own people, but you give them that opportunity. You open the door for them.
Absolutely.
You take them on a nature hike. Take them to a park. Let them see that wildlife. Have that personal experience. It's a story they can tell. It's a picture they can take and share with their friends.
Yep.
And so I think. Perhaps our society today may not necessarily provide those same early experiences as often.
Yeah.
But I hope that the message is clear, and I think the film does a really great job of emphasizing that it can just be that early spark that leads to a greater awareness, a greater
it's a plant,
appreciation.
It's a bird,
exactly.
it's an amphibian.
It's outside.
Yeah.
It's outside.
It's
for
outside.
sure.
It's getting curious. It's having a chance to play and discover and explore.
Absolutely. Are we coming up on the end here?
I think so.
You're giving me a nod,
think
so
Yeah.
I think we probably
I
are
think
running short.
I think we're about there.
Well, Shana, we appreciate you coming in because this has been fun. I'm excited for the rest of this event and to see. So you've seen the documentary, or a sneak peek?
I may have
we
seen
might have had a
part
little
of-
bit of a sneak
Okay.
peek.
Yeah.
Part of the
Were
documentary.
you part of the? Did you have any involvement in the making of it, or was it mostly?
So actually, we did have some staff who were able to be contribute to the film, and appreciate all of their time and effort on that. And also just want to thank and acknowledge our collaborators with Cincinnati Museum Center. And just emphasize again, that's a 50-plus year partnership that's made our program at the Edge of Appalachia, for example, possible. And I know they've had a huge contribution to that education, and that's kind of been a component that they've brought. So Yeah, absolutely. I just can't wait for the listeners to actually get out and see it. It's really something that you won't forget.
Oh, cool.
Where can people find more information about volunteering for the Nature Conservancy, going and viewing some of these areas that you guys work on?
Yeah, so we have a lot of great information, of course, on our website. And from there, you can look at where all of our nature preserves are located. So we have 7 preserves that are actually open to the public and 3 that are considered our flagship preserves, where often those volunteer opportunities are going to take place. So that's Kitty Todd up in Northwest Ohio, our Morgan Swamp and Grand River Conservation Campus in Northeast Ohio, and of course the Edge, which we've talked quite a bit about in Southern Ohio, but also the Big Darby Preserve in Central Ohio. So really, no matter where you are in Ohio, there's a preserve near you. So you can reach out and find out about opportunities and see which may be close to where you live.
Great.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. And this is a 4-part series
This is
we're
a
doing.
4-part series.
Yeah.
So we're Cincinnati today, and then we've got Toledo, we have Columbus, and finishing up in Cleveland.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Well,
excited to see it on the big screen.
yeah,
So,
for sure. For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming in. And that wraps up our episode. So check us out everywhere. The social media, we have it on. I forget the speech that we always give, so I'm just going to wing it today. But check us out on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. But hopefully, if you listen to this, check out the movie,
Yep.
check out the Nature Conservancy, and we hope to see you outside.
Yeah, thank you.